Oh, All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have about 9 o'clock. I'm going to call the criminal docket for Karnes County. State versus Ofelia Davila. Yes, sir. Any announcement? How did this get back on the docket? Was she picked up on the failure to appear?
And Judge, I'm not 100% sure. I represent her in her misdemeanor case, and I know Adrian Perez represents her in this case. She wasn't picked up. She's out of custody. And we do have a deal worked out for her misdemeanor case, but I'm not sure how she got added on the docket. That's my 2 cents, because I give a little bit of...
I'm checking right now.
All right, I'll mark her no-show. State versus Brianna Beasley. And what do we have to hear today? Mr. Cabañas is not here. All right, we'll check on him.
I think it was a plea, Your Honor.
All right. Ronnie Martinez.
Here, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm present for him. Stephen Barrera's office. We just got hired on this case today.
Okay.
And we'll be filing a notice.
All right, I'll mark you conferring, and here comes Mr. Perez. All right, Mr. Perez on Ofelia Davila.
Yes, sir. Good morning. She's been a fugitive for years. Bonded out, I believe. She was put on the docket just to have her name called 3 times. I did send her notice to the last address I had on file for her.
All right, I think Mr. Ernst is in contact with her.
Yeah, I spoke to her yesterday, Adrian. I'll give you a call and give you her new number, because I represent her misdemeanor.
She also called the clerk's office and said she'd be on Zoom this morning. Well, she had another court hearing also, but I told her she needed to log in this morning.
Yeah, Kyle, actually, if she shows up, do you want to do a breakout room with the 3 of us so we can? Okay, cool.
And right. Judge, I have notation that Karen Duke went through the monitor arrest list for us, and that's why we set it back on the docket, because she didn't have an open warrant any longer.
Okay. What, do they get recalled after a while?
We do the monitor arrest log, and we send it, we look through it, and we send it to the investigators twice a year.
Oh, but I just mean, do they recall the warrants after a while if they're not served?
Judge, I wonder if they recalled it because she showed up to county court on Kyle's case. I'm just guessing.
I don't know if they recalled it. It may have been served. I'd have to go back to her notes.
Okay, that makes sense. James Brian Hernandez. Mr. Riggs.
Yes, Judge. I'm present on that. I am not aware of Mr. Hernandez's whereabouts. I think that's another case of a knife-sided warrant that was no longer active.
All right, I'll mark him no-show. Jimmy Dean Brown. Same. Says first appearance, no-show.
Yeah, Judge, I actually think that he's in custody and we were trying to get him to appear. Let me verify with Ms. Duke that we issued a bench warrant for him and it might not have gone through.
All right. Ben Reyes.
He should be at the probation office. Is he there? Is he at the probation office?
No. He's not here at the probation office, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. No show. Recall. Austin Michael Minnie.
Judge, he signed a waiver of arraignment. It has been e-filed. It's under review, and it has a reset date on there. He started a new job. I was hoping that you would excuse him from court since he's already signed the waiver arraignment, and it is.
That's great. What's the date? Just so I have it in my notes.
I believe it was June 3rd, Your Honor. I'll have to double check on that.
Okay.
That should be right.
June 3rd, Your Honor. Yes.
Coronado Balderas, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Torres. Is your client here?
He should be, Your Honor. I thought he was there. I have been in touch with him, but I didn't think to remind him to be here for court.
All right, I'm gonna mark him no show. I'll recall. And is the last name Balderas or
Ramos, Your Honor.
Ramos? Okay. There's a name, looks like a partial name that's cut off. There's a limit to how many characters it will print. All right, anybody else told to be here today on a criminal case? Is this the only docket I had? It was the only one I saw that.
Yes, sir, this is it.
Okay, I'll open up breakout rooms. Does anyone need a breakout room right now?
Could you get one with me, Adrian, myself, and Allie?
Done. Anyone else?
Your Honor, I have a question for you, I guess, on Ronnie Martinez.
sir.
One, are you able to tell me whether he has a waiver of arraignment on file? I think he had previous counsel.
I cannot, just not be able to.
All right.
And Judge, since there doesn't appear to be any appointments, may be excused?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, I have one notation on that Jimmy Dean Brown at the bottom of the page, page 1.
Okay.
If he does appear or if he is in custody, whatever we find out on that, I wanted to make note that Ninfa Carrillo is his attorney on a different active case in Karnes County, which currently had an FTA of 1/4/2021.
A bench warrant was sent for April 6th. It was reset, so Jimmy Dean Brown.
All right, bench warrant, April 4/6. Okay,
And Ronnie Martinez does have a waiver on file. It was sent through e-file this morning, or yesterday afternoon, actually.
all
Okay.
right. I'm going to log off Acrobat in just a moment, and then I'll go and look at my docket or my e-file queue. I had it thinned out, I thought, yesterday, but it may have built back up.
And may I have a breakout with Ronnie Martinez, Your Honor? He's a prisoner.
Okay, is he the guy in,
He's in the red jumpsuit.
okay, so he's in the court.
And if you want to make me the host while you log off, I can help out.
Oh, no, I'm gonna stay on here. I'm just gonna shut down my
Okay.
Acrobat.
Ms. Nixon, on Jimmy Dean Brown with a bench warrant for 4/6,
Yes.
should I
Oh,
move
it's for
his other
4/6? Sorry,
case to 4/6 as well?
he has 2 cases?
He has a 2011 0096.
Yeah, let's do, but I didn't know it got moved to 4/6. I knew there was some issue with it, but yeah, let's put both.
Because the other one has an FTA. I didn't know he was picked up. I hadn't been notified yet.
Okay.
But now that I know that, okay. And Helica, I'll send you an email in a minute to get notice out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ronnie Martinez has a reset for May the 3rd, or a waiver of arraignment. Is that a good date for Karns?
Yes, May 3rd is a court date.
Okay. All right, all the rest of the stuff is things I've got to be able to access the court's, the district clerk's files.
Miss Poppy, could you post the reset dates in chats?
I can recopy them for you, Jennifer, if you want it.
I'll do it real quick. Thank you, Jen.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Your Honor, may I make an announcement?
Yes, sir.
For Ophelia Davila, the state's attorney tells me that her case is going to be dismissed after she pleads on an unrelated misdemeanor case, which Mr. Ernst is telling me is going to happen on the 20th, Kyle?
The
April
12th.
April 12th.
April 12th. So I would like to reset this shortly after that, Your Honor, and it should be dismissed before we even come back. If that's okay with you, I believe the state's fine with it.
Okay, what's the next court date after then?
I believe 4:15.
Okay, and was she given notice to be here today?
Yes, Judge, she was given notice by me. I sent her a letter.
All right. I'm going to mark this as nisi, but then hold nisi until 4:15. Monitor county court plea. So if all that happens, we will not put a nisi out with the actual capias for her arrest in the meantime. If she doesn't show up, then we'll go ahead and call it today. And we'll just issue the capias on the 15th of next month.
Yes, sir. I put my resets in chat for Davila and for Minnie, and that's all I have. May be excused.
Yes, and I found I found the mini waiver. It's been signed and sent to the clerk.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You
All
too.
right, so we have somebody left, we have a defendant and an attorney. Is that correct? We're still waiting for Mr. Cabañas.
Mr. Cabañas, yes, a defendant and an attorney, and Mr. Ben Reyes.
And I'm on the phone with Mr. Reyes right now. He's on his way to probation, just to give the court an update.
Okay. All right.
And then I'm not sure if everyone knew Mr. Cabanas was in Medina County first. He is appearing in person there and then will be joining us.
Okay. All right. And is there a pre-sentence investigation I need to look at on Reyes?
Yes, Judge. Renee, did you want to send that or do you want me to send it?
Actually, Courtney emailed that out last week. He emailed it to Judge Wilson, yourself, and Kyle.
If someone could post it to me in chat, I'd appreciate it, because I was able after court yesterday to run 3 apps for a bit, and then I tried to open a 4th and my computer crashed. However, I spoke to the computer repairman there in Jerdenton, and he says the good news is he was able to install the new keyboard in my personal laptop. The bad news is now it won't boot. So I guess I'm gonna just have to go buy another one, because I can't keep going on with unusable computer.
Courtney can post that to you in chat, Your Honor.
And Kyle, when you get a second, I have a question, but it's not urgent.
Angelica,
Yes, Mr. Briggs.
can you check to see what kind of notice James Hernandez got for this setting?
Okay, I'll check his file. He received a Zoom notice and it was not returned.
Okay, by mail?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Judge Wilson, I just sent you the PSI in chat.
Thank you.
Yep.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
I did get in touch with Mr. Ramos, and he should be in the Zoom room now, Your Honor. I hope so.
Yes. Asking him.
Yes, I did text him, Your Honor.
All right. So I will mark him as late. What's going on?
This is our first court setting, Judge, and so we'd ask to be reset. Could get some more time.
Okay. Ms. The court coordinator, Ms. Poppy, earlier today posted the next dates that are coming up. As long as there's no objection, both sides are in agreement. If you will post in this format, cause number, name, date, what date it's being set to, your and your client are released afterwards.
Okay. Alrighty. Do I just type that
Post
in?
that in chat, into chat.
Okay.
Everyone in chat.
Yes, that's what I saw, Judge. Thank you.
Right. That way we have a written record of when people are supposed to come back with.
Okay. Thank you very much, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Torres, I see that you posted the cause number and the name, but I'm not seeing a date.
Yeah, yes. Do I
Okay.
just pick any one of the dates that's there, or?
I see you just posted a date now.
Yes.
So you've already done the waiver of arraignment, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you picked that reset date. If it's on the trial track, we do have the 3 dates. Judge, do you want to start using that?
Absolutely.
Or is that too soon on this case?
Nope, absolutely.
Is it on the trial track, sir, or?
Yes. Yeah, it would be on the trial track. Yes.
So do you see that's like the 4th entry down on the dates? Trial track, you would have 3 dates, 5/20, 6/3, and 7/12.
Okay. If we could keep 6/3, just if that'll work.
Yeah, could you just post all those dates to us?
Sorry, I'm not used to picking dates. They usually just tell me where to go and when to be there.
We're usually a lot more like that, but it hasn't mattered in
That's true.
So now we're getting back to it.
Yes, sir. No, thank you, Judge. I like it. Lets me control my future a little bit.
Mr. Torres, when did you submit
Yes.
that waiver?
I submitted it last week, I believe.
And it was through e-file?
Oh, no, it was not through e-file. I think I just sent it in through an email, so I can definitely e-file it today.
Do you know what email you sent it to?
I thought I sent it to a court coordinator, but let me double check.
So that needs to go to the district clerk's office.
Okay.
If you can just please e-file it.
Yes, yeah, we'll do, no problem.
Or if you have it in PDF, just post it in chat to me and I'll sign it and post it to the clerk.
Okay.
Judge, I had a question.
All right, Mr. Ramos, you need to direct your questions to your attorney.
So I just talked to him through
No, when you're offline, if you need a breakout room, Mr. Torres, let me know.
Okay. Yes, Judge, if we could get a breakout room, that would be appreciated.
And Judge, while we wait for Mr. Reyes and Mr. Cabañas, I'm gonna step away for just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Jennifer, can I ask you a question? It's Dan Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
On Ronnie Martinez, page 1, 1906-00038K. First of all, it appears there was a waiver of arraignment that was e-filed. Is there a court date?
I thought Judge Wilson had just said 5/3 when he signed it a
5/3.
while ago.
Okay, so 5/3 for the reset date on
Yes.
Mr. Martinez. Thank you, Judge. And also, can you tell me what his bond situation is on this particular case? Does he have a bond set?
That's something the district clerk will have to tell you. If there's
Okay.
it'll be in their file and not in anything.
Okay. So is that Coronado? No. May I speak with the district clerk? Are they on? Yes.
Yes. Can you hang
Okay.
on a second? Hang on 1 second.
I'm going to put y'all in a breakout room.
Thanks.
Okay, you should get an invitation to room 2.
Okay, Judge, I think I just sent in the waiver of arraignment. Sorry, I was having to switch between my phone and my laptop, and
It's fine.
And Your Honor, may I have a breakout room with Mr. Martinez one last time before we excuse ourselves?
All right, a breakout room with who?
The prisoner.
Oh, okay. Okay, court 1. Okay, you each have an invitation to 3.
Thank you.
All right, I just posted I put approved on the waiver and posted it to everyone. Now I ask Angelica to grab a copy.
Got it, Judge. Thank you.
Judge, Mr.
Your-
Torres has posted the dates that he needed, so I think he's free to go, correct?
Yes, you're excused.
Yes, sir. And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Thank you very much. And Your Honor, may my client be excused as well?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I've posted, this is Dan Rodriguez on behalf of Ronnie Martinez. I've posted the new date of May 3rd into the chat. And may I be excused and Mr. Ronnie taken back?
Yes, that's fine. And again, he already had the waiver for 5-3, but that's great. You're excused.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. You have a nice day.
Oh, you're done? And on Brianna Beasley, is this supposed to be a plea? Is that an old note?
So Judge, I think Mr. Cabaños would be okay for me speaking to this. He had mentioned a bond reduction and then potentially a plea. We've been chatting and I'm not sure which way he was going.
Okay.
But we do have, he has the paperwork in and signed, so I'm just unsure.
All right. Well, someone want to go ahead and send me a copy of that?
Angelica? Did he submit the signed paperwork to you?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Okay, Judge, let me email him because he's very responsive and see if he is the one holding on to that right now.
But
Okay.
let me check the file. Just hang on.
Okay.
Just-
Okay.
We do have it from the last court date. Do you want me to submit it in chat, Judge?
Yes. And do I already have it? You don't know. You don't know my computer. No, I do not. Okay, yes, please post it to me in chat.
Okay, I do not have the judgment though.
All right. And I see you have a hard copy. Do you have an electronic copy so you don't have to scan that?
I don't, but I can scan it if need be.
Well, I need a copy somehow. If it was emailed to you, I was going to ask you just to send me the email copy. I'm trying not to get copy of copy because it becomes illegible after a while. All right, somebody has their hand raised. Richard Briggs. Yes, Mr. Briggs.
Judge, I just got off the phone with my client, James Hernandez, and he should be, I think that's him calling in to the meeting just now.
All right, there is a 830 area code phone number. What is your name?
James Hernandez.
All right, we'll mark you present and late. Go ahead, Mr. Briggs. Do you need a breakout room or what's going on?
No, Judge, I was just on the phone with him. We've talked, and we just need to get his case back on a trial track.
All right, if you'll post some dates.
Angelica, I do not. Angelica, I'm just going to email him and see if he has another a copy he can send.
Allie, I'm doing it now. It's fine.
Okay, just let me know if it turns out funky.
Judge, I know Mr. King Dawes asked to be excused, but I'm not sure if others know that there's no one to interview today.
Yes,
Don,
TR,
is Mr.
I thought maybe y'all were just enthralled by the proceedings here, but you're free to take off. We have no need for y'all right now. I don't suppose Mr. Reyes has showed up, has he?
No, Your Honor, he is not here yet.
Well, he didn't make it for his interview, so I detect a pattern.
Your Honor, he just walked through the door here at the office.
All right, Mr. Ernst.
Yes, Judge.
I believe your client has appeared.
Yeah. And whenever Ali is ready, when Mr. Reyes gets here, I'm going to be making a motion to continue his sentencing. One of our witnesses is sick and in the hospital.
All right, I will place y'all in a breakout room.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, did you mean me?
Yes, Mr. Ernst needs to speak to you.
Oh,
We've
Ali and I
spoken.
have already talked about
Yeah.
it. She's not in agreement with the continuance.
Yeah, I object to them getting a continuance, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just whenever Mr. Reyes gets here, I'll go in a breakout room with him and talk to him.
All right, if,
We'll get him in a Zoom room, Your Honor.
thank you.
Pardon me, Your Honor.
Yes, I've got your dates. You're free to take off.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, you're free to go. Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I have sent Mr. Ernst and his client an invitation to breakout room number 7. You, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to work on something that's come up. I will be here with camera off, and we will pick back up in a few moments.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm back. Calling (2011-00091) State versus Ben Walter Reyes. Are both sides ready?
The state's right, Your Honor.
Defense would like to make a motion to continue. I'd like to call Mr. Reyes as a witness.
All right, Mr. Reyes, would you raise your right hand?
Okay.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you may give in the matter now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Ernst.
Mr. Reyes, where do you work currently?
I work for Curtis Reynolds out of Runge, Texas. Triple R Transport.
Okay, and so what type of work do you do for him?
I do ranch work, sir.
Okay, and so it's my understanding that he had agreed to come in as a witness to testify on your behalf. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so it's also my understanding that he got sick last week on the 24th or the 25th.
Yes, sir.
And who did you speak to?
I spoke to Mr. Reynolds that night, and he went to the hospital that night. And then I spoke to his wife, Miss Shirley Reynolds.
Okay, and so and you wanted him to be here as a witness today, correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you think he would be better by April 15th?
I am pretty sure. I'm hoping so.
Okay, no further questions.
No questions for Mr. Reyes.
Your Honor, we're just asking for a continuance until April 15th. That way, Mr. Reynolds, he'd be one of our witnesses for his sentencing, for him to show up as a character witness for Mr. Reyes. As you had heard from his testimony, he is in the hospital, he's sick, and we'd ask for a continuance until April 15th.
And Judge, if I may respond.
I have a question for Mr. Reyes first. When did you go to work for Mr. Reynolds?
I started working there right at the beginning of February. I worked for him before, though, for 6 years.
Go ahead, Ms. Nixon.
Judge, have you had a chance to look at the PSI?
I have.
My concerns with any type of reset on Mr. Reyes are a couple of things that I just wanted to bring to your attention. The fact that he not only has failed to comply with his past probations and complete them successfully, but the fact that for this PSI, he continually failed to show up. And then when he did show up, I don't want to use the word argue because they don't use the word argue, but then tried to make it on his terms. We've been waiting on the sentencing, and I'm not sure what his boss would have to contribute to that, but I think that we have enough to move forward today based on the PSI alone.
Okay, I will deny the motion for a continuance. What witnesses does each party expect to call?
The state will just be relying on the PSI, Your Honor.
All right.
And the defense will just be calling Mr. Reyes.
So are you asking for the PSI to be admitted into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there an objection to that?
No objection, no additions, no objections.
Without objection, the pre-sentence investigation is admitted into evidence. Okay. All right. So does the state rest?
Yes, Your Honor, only if you need me to point out the specific portions of the PSI that you would like me to draw your attention to. But other than that.
I'll let you do that in argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ernst.
The defense would like to call Mr. Reyes to the stand.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. Reyes, so I'm looking at this PSI and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your criminal history.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I see here that back in 1999, you had gotten a possession of marijuana and a purchased alcohol for a minor charge. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And then you also had a possession under a gram in 1999, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how old were you during that time period?
21, 20.
Okay. And so, did you get married sometime shortly after that?
Just right before it, I got married.
Okay, so
Oh.
did you get married after these charges?
Right. Yeah, right after the charges, I got married. I've been with her since we were kids.
Okay, and so it looks like you didn't have any, other than those in your early years, you didn't have any sort of arrest or convictions for quite some time. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it looks like there was almost 10 years without any convictions, any arrests. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, did you have a pretty stable living environment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I bought my house where I'm living at right now in that time.
And so I see here on the PSI, there's a string of charges, but it looks like they all happened from the same incident on May 6, 2009. Is that accurate that they all happened and it's from the same incident?
Yes, sir.
And when you look at the charges, they all look pretty bad. When you got an assault, an injury to a reckless person, resisting arrest, a criminal mischief, a terroristic threat. Can you give the court a little bit of background of kind of what had happened? Because the charges make it seem a lot worse than what it was.
Yes, sir. I was with my brother that day, and we started arguing, and we started fighting, my brother and I. My brother's about a year and a half younger than me, and it was just something that happened real fast, and family members were there, and
Okay.
they try to get between the both of us.
Okay, so it was mainly a fight between you and your brother, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then just everyone
It
got
escalated.
and it escalated, and then other family members tried to break you guys apart.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then so so other than that, in 2009, you picked up a DWLI in 2014. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but other than that DWLI, you didn't have any new offenses, any new offenses from 2009 up until 2019. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so I see, and that's for those are for the charges that were in court today.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
And so it seems like you were doing really, really well. Other than that isolated incident with your family, 20 years, no, other than the DWLI, no arrests or convictions for any drug offenses or violent offenses, correct?
No, sir.
And were you working full time at that time?
Yes, sir. I was full time with Patterson Drilling.
Okay. And then, so tell me about what had happened recently. What was going on with your marriage a couple years ago?
I got divorced, and I became single. My crowd changed. My crowd changed, and it made it worse.
So would it be accurate to say that you were depressed because of the divorce, hanging around with the wrong people?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
My wife, she kind of protected me from all that stuff, and I didn't have that anymore.
And do you feel like, so you had mentioned your wife kind of had protected you. Do you think probation would be something that would be good for you, because that could help give you the tools to address any issues if you started to spiral down again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it would help me.
And that would keep you on the straight and narrow?
Yes, sir.
And so, so the court's looking at these new charges. And are you dating anyone else right now?
Oh, no, sir. I'm still single, but I am not going nowhere. I don't. I'm trying just to go to work and back, and that's it.
And so what's going to make you a good probation candidate compared to and that the court's not going to see all that you're hanging around with the wrong people or anything like that?
I'm not hanging out with anybody, but like to get here to probation, I depend on my mother. My mother's sick. Sometimes it's on her time that I can get over here. That's just my mom. Like I said, my mom's sick, so I can't just tell her to jump in the car and bring me. I try to get everything situated ahead of time, but half the people I ask do not come through.
Okay, and so I know the state had mentioned that you didn't show up, that they had trouble getting a hold of you. Is it because you don't have a cell phone?
Yes, sir. It's because I don't have a cell phone, sir.
And is that because money's tight right now?
Yes, sir. It's because my money's tight right now, and I'm trying to work. I'm hoping to get a better job too.
And so you had mentioned that you started working for Mr. Reynolds in February. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And that you were previously in custody for these offenses for quite some time last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were released from custody during the pandemic. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And so during that time period, it had been pretty difficult for you to find a job.
Yes, sir. It was.
And so, and are you helping your mom out with finances and payments? For bills?
I'm helping her out with more the house part of it.
Okay.
She has her house pretty much managed, but I do the hard little things. I go take care of my mom. I'm living with my mom, so I mean, I couldn't even pay the bills at my house with what I was making, and yeah, right now, like I said, with that freeze that we had, I'm living with my mom right now. I'm living in her spare room.
Okay, and then so if what would happen, because you mentioned, I know you're close with your mom and I know you're close with your grandmother. What would happen if you were sent to prison? I mean, financially with them, if you were sent to prison today, what would happen? Would they lose their house?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure they worked their hardest to do something, but yeah, I would lose my place. So I really would lose my house for sure.
And so Mr. Reyes, so what's going to be different to make probation a priority this time compared to last time you were on probation in 2009, 2010? What's going to make you make this a priority?
I'm trying to do my license. That's my main thing. Because all the time that I was on probation, I had my license suspended. And it's not suspended right now, but I haven't got it.
And do you know how many more steps you need to do in order to get your license back?
About 2 more steps that I need to do. I need to finish paying a surcharge, I think it's what it is, and to go take the driving test itself.
Okay, and then in between that time, when you have to show up for probation appointments, I mean, how are you going to be able to get there?
I would just have to depend on my mom. That's the only person I have to depend on.
Okay, and does she have a vehicle?
Yes, she's got 2 vehicles.
All right, Mr. Reyes, is there something, why are you going to be a good candidate for probation this time?
I'm older. I can't afford to go to prison. I have my house. I can't lose my house. I won't have nowhere to go if something happens to my parents or my grandparents. I'm going to be left in the street when I get out. And really, truly, I can't afford that. I worked hard for my house. I really did. I worked real hard for my house. That's all been my main thing.
I pass the witness.
Go ahead, Ms. Dix.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Reyes. I just want to clarify a few things. The house that you're speaking of, is that the house at 608 Muggy Street?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you work at 610 Muggy Street. Is that correct?
I tried to start a phone fixing business online.
Okay, so the employment that you reported to probation during the PSI is not the employment that you just testified with Mr. Ernst?
No, ma'am. No, no, ma'am.
Okay. How are you getting to that job?
I have Mr. Reynolds provides me a Gator, a John Deere Gator that I can drive without a license.
Okay, so he is still, where you are helping with Mr. Reynolds still is close enough that you can get there without driving?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That's okay. In the PSI, do you recall them asking you if you were abusing any substances?
Just ma'am.
Do you recall what your answer was?
I told them I've been clean since I've been out of jail. Before that, I had started up maybe a year, and I was cleaning before that for 6 years.
So when you talked with Mr. Ernst about the 2009 probation, the 2009, I believe you said it was a fight with your family. The reason that you were unable to complete probation then, you said, can you remind me what your reason was?
I got a revocation for a DWLI.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
Mr. Ernst?
Mr. Reyes, I just want to clarify. So the work with Mr. Reynolds, you had been doing a little bit combination of working for Mr. Reynolds and this phone repair business. Is that accurate?
Yes, yes, sir. I would do the phone repair on my own time.
And so, is Mr. Reynolds? Does he pick you up?
No, sir. He provides me a Gator, like a John Deere Gator.
Okay. Would you? What sort of plan would you have in order? How far away do you live from the probation office?
16 miles, I think is what it comes out to.
And so you understand that this would have to be your number one priority, is to be able to make your probation meetings. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
And so if you miss a probation meeting or if you stop communicating with them, they can file a motion to revoke and you're subject to the full sentencing range. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else that you would like the judge to know that would make you a good candidate for probation?
Yeah, I just need this chance just to prove myself and everybody else that I'm not that bad person that they think I am, you know. I work for my living, and right now I'm just doing the best I can. I don't want to get a solid job to somebody and leave them, and that just ruins my reputation with people.
I have no further questions.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any other witnesses, Mr. Ernst?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
Give me just a moment. Okay, what are the 5/11/2020 charges that are reflected on the precedence investigation?
So Judge, as far as we can tell from our communications with probation and the Karnes County Sheriff's Office, they are listed because he had a warrant out for the previous cases. So the unlawful, except for the prohibited weapons, which were 2 of the weapons that were found in the car in the case that we are dismissing after the sentencing. I can repeat that if you need to.
Okay, do I have a copy of that report?
If it's not in the STIPs, I believe Kyle and I are in agreement that I can send him State's Attachment B for the TIC case. Is that correct?
And that's fine, no objection.
All right, and I've got 56 pages on the original plea package.
Okay, let me pull. Actually, Judge, I think the prohibited weapon charges came out of the case that we are dismissing outright, not the TIC.
Okay, so then that's.
Yeah, so, but let me send you State's Attachment B, which is the TIC, just in case it is not connected to the the plea paperwork.
Because the felon in possession was filed separately from the possession case?
The prohibited weapons were filed separate than the possession case. After they inventoried the car and went through the weapons, they realized that 2 of them were prohibited, but we are dismissing that case outright.
Okay, and was that in February of 2019 or was that some other date?
The January date, Your Honor.
Okay, January of 19 then. All right, so what is are there charges from May of 20 or is that just where he was picked up on old warrants?
That was the pickup of old warrants and then them putting a warrant out for the prohibited weapon, which I've already talked to the sheriff's office that we are not accepting.
All right, and don't send me anything on a case that.
This one that I sent you, Judge, is the TIC case in case it's not in the paperwork. The one that's being TIC, not the one that we're dismissing outright. And I'm sending it to Kyle too. So if Kyle, you want to check before the judge opens it.
I have no objection to that.
Open this up. All right, so this is just a straight possession.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Give me just a second. All right, I've had a chance, if I haven't said so without objection, State's Exhibit B is admitted into evidence. I've had a chance to review it. And I have a question. I don't know if we need to call the probation officer. There's some information. Was that just that the little bit of information that was given on the phone during the brief conversations? Because there's, for instance, some employment information on here from Mr. Reyes, but nothing about military service, nothing about substance abuse. It doesn't say denied use. There's just no answers. Is that because there just was not a completion of the interview?
That's correct, Your Honor. I was not able to interview the defendant to get that information.
All right, and would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you may give in the matter now on trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
And your name?
Courtney Leon Moore.
All right, and is the statement you just made true and correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. Do the attorneys have any questions for this witness?
Questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, argument?
Before we begin argument really quickly, Kyle, can you read my text message?
Oh.
I'm sorry, Judge. And I guess we can take care of it after, Kyle, if.
Yeah, and the court would have that information. It's whether or not Mr. Reyes.
I think there's a mistake on page 8, Judge, of the, not of the PSI, of the agreed punishment recommendation. So if we want to take that up after argument, we're in agreement of what needs to be amended. If Angelica could help us with that.
Okay, does it, but it's not going to change anything.
No, the box is checked that prosecution to proceed on all allegations, and we're proceeding on count 1, which is correct on the first page of the plea packet.
Yes, yeah, count 1, yes, correct.
Okay. I'll just put a notation here. Count 1 only agreed in open court. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Nixon.
Yes, Judge. Due to this defendant's, I would say number 1 on page 6, and I know he explained it a little bit, but I guess lack of information on his substance abuse. I'm concerned about that for him being on probation. I'm concerned with the fact that his probation has been continually revoked for whatever the reason. And I'm concerned by the fact that every time he has been arrested in the recent history, there are weapons and there are large amounts of drugs. I do not think that he is a good candidate for probation. I do not think he is motivated. I know that he has had some cell phone trouble, and that's noted in the PSI. But even when he was able to get in touch with the probation department, he still made excuses for reasons not to attend. And I think that shows an inability to give deference to the court and an inability to give deference to the severity of probation. And we would ask for the cap of 8 years, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, when you look at Mr. Reyes's history, you see a couple charges when he was in his early 20s. And as you heard from the testimony from him, other than this incident where he had a family argument that escalated quite a bit, there isn't any violent offenses on his record. And yes, we do have these most recent offenses of why we're here today. And in both cases, he was hanging out with another defendant who has significantly more criminal history, and it's our argument that a lot of this had stemmed from Mr. Reyes hanging out with the wrong people. He has strong ties to the community. He's owned a house in Karn County for over 20 years, and his mother relies on him to be able to work and to be able to pay bills. And a lot of this is Mr. Reyes just needs a little bit of a push, and I think probation could help him out a lot to keep him on the straight and narrow. I mean, for other than those early offenses and these most recent ones, for 20 years, other than that outlying incident, he hasn't had any criminal history. When he has a steady job, has a steady work, doesn't hang around with the wrong people, he does well. And I understand there has been some communication problem. I know that's been a frustration with probation, but I've made it very clear, and I know the court will make it very clear, and I know probation will make it very, very clear that he does have to show up to probation meetings and that he has to make it a priority and walk almost if he has to. And he knows what he's facing ahead of him. So, Your Honor, we'd ask to give Mr. Reyes this opportunity, give him a chance to be able to prove that he can be successful on probation. He doesn't have a consistent history of constantly picking up charges. It seems like they've gone in spurts when he was younger and then most recently after this divorce. So, Your Honor, we'd ask the court put him on 5 years probation and give him the opportunity to be successful on probation.
All right, anything else? Ms. Nixon?
You're muted.
It cut out, Judge. I'm sorry.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll be back in a moment.
What happened? Just didn't want to do it too hard. Are they still together?
They were this morning, they thought. Hey, you know, it's better.
Yeah.
So. Kind of on again off. She don't want to do this.
All right, I've listened to the evidence very carefully. Considered the precedents investigation report carefully.
Maybe he'll come through.
This time, Mr. Reyes, I will find you guilty of the second-degree felony offense of possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver and sentence you to 8 years confinement in the Department of Criminal Justice. I don't do that lightly, sir. I would have been very gratified if I had seen some indication that you were going to do better on this probation. I understand people can change, but when you do not show up for your precedents investigation, and then you show up an hour or best part of an hour late for court, when there's that much on the table and you can't do what you have to do to comply with appearing in court, I can't think it likely that you're going to do better if you actually wind up on probation. You understand, sir, that because I have followed the plea bargain agreement in this case, that you've waived the right to appeal and you may not appeal?
Yes, sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right.
sir.
Then I'll find that you made your post-trial waivers knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, and I will approve them, and I will certify to the Court of Appeals that you have waived the right to appeal and that you may not appeal. And is there any legal reason why sentence should not now be imposed?
No, Your Honor.
All right, hearing none, it is the ordered decree of the court that you be taken by the sheriff of Karnes County and transported to the authorized receiving agent of the Department of Criminal Justice. You will be confined for a period of 8 years. Your sentence will commence today, and you'll receive credit for all of the time you have spent so far in jail on this charge. And how many days is that, Mr. Ernst?
I'm not 100%. Ali, do you have the judgment?
Renee and Courtney, if y'all don't mind checking on that, I think you might have told me I had not had the judgment created yet since it was an open plea. They're in the works of that, but if Renee or Courtney, if you have that time handy, you could send it to us.
All right, and this sentence will also run concurrently with any other sentence that you may be under or come under. And I will state that I'll wait until we have a resolution on the number of days of credit you're entitled to before I sign the judgment to make sure that there's no difficulty with that.
Yeah, and Ali, could you just email me the judgment or the number of days? Because I know he has a decent amount of time built up.
Absolutely. You want me to email you or text you?
Text is fine.
Okay.
And if we can get a thumbprint sent to me, I will incorporate that in the judgment when it comes.
And Your Honor, may I be excused momentarily? I have another docket in Hayes County.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Cabañas.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning,
We
sir.
are almost ready. And our MTR,
No, sir. Are you in Hondo?
yes,
Okay, your internet access is very poor. We could only get part of what you said, and that was almost impossible to hear. So now I can see you smiling, so maybe you just got better.
I hope so.
Okay, I can hear that. All right, go ahead, Mr. Cabañas.
Yes, Judge, just to let you know that we are already on our MTR for Ms. Brianna Beasley.
All right. It may be a few minutes because I know the sheriff's department has to transport Mr. Reyes after they get a thumbprint, and then
Sure.
she can appear from the jail, I suppose.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Cabañas, are we doing our plea agreement on the MTR?
Yes, we're playing true in that, yes.
Did you still need a breakout room, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, would you like to give that to me, or do you want to put?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who needs a breakout room with who?
Mr. Cabañas in the jail, please.
Oh my God.
All right. All right, I'm going to work on things in my queue and try and keep that open. Please let me know when we have the judgment or ready to go on Mr. Cabañas's case. And I have sent the waivers in this case and the admonitions to the district court.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to go check on the judgment real quick and I'll be right back.
All right, Mr. Cabañas is back. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge, I'm back.
All right, where do we stand?
Judge, we are ready. I spoke with my client. We're ready to go. I think Ms. Nixon was just making some changes on the dates based on the plea documents we signed. I think they're last week or a week and a half ago.
I did not make those changes, Judge. I was going to see if we could agree that they are orally amended, just because this is when your computer shut down and everything's already been signed and submitted. So I thought it was easier for us to just amend the date of the plea.
Amend the date of the plea on what?
On the first page of the plea paperwork, I believe it says we're doing it. What was our last court date? March.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, no, that happens all the time.
Oh, okay. No worries then.
There's not a correlation between when it started and when it gets finished even. All right. So calling State versus Brianna Beasley. Are both sides ready?
State's ready, Judge.
Defense is ready, Judge.
All right, are you Brianna Beasley? Okay,
Yes.
is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you the same Brianna Beasley who on or about November 26, 2018 was placed on 3 years deferred adjudication probation?
And could I be put in a breakout room with Mr. Reyes if he's still probation?
Is he still at probation?
Judge, they got his thumbprint and they took him over
Okay,
to the jail.
All right.
I'll text you, Ali. And Judge, may I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. The same Brianna Beasley who was placed on 3 years deferred adjudication probation on or about November 26, 2018 for the third-degree felony offense of tampering with evidence.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that on that day, the judge found there was enough evidence to say that you were guilty, but did not do so. Instead, the judge placed you on deferred adjudication probation. And if you successfully complete it, the case against you will be dismissed and you'll have no conviction. But the state has alleged that you violated the terms of your deferred adjudication probation. And if they can show that that is true, then you could be found guilty today and you could be sentenced to anything that is a legal sentence for a third-degree felony. That is 2 to 10 years confinement and a fine up to $10,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Right, ma'am. And you understand that the plea bargain agreement you have with the state is not binding on me. I do not have to follow it, but if I decide not to follow it, I will allow you to withdraw your plea.
Yes, sir.
And if I do follow the plea bargain agreement and the sentence I impose is not harder on you than what you've agreed to, do you understand that you will not be able to appeal this matter?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you understand that the state has alleged that you have violated rule number 27 of your deferred adjudication probation. Specifically, the state is alleging that you were sent to a transitional treatment center for a period of up to 90 days. You were supposed to complete that, but you were discharged unsuccessfully from the Treatment Associates Transitional Treatment Center on or about April the 6th, 2020. So do you understand what the state's alleging that you did wrong?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to show you some documents that appear to have your signature. Let me ask, can you speak, read, and write the English language?
Yes.
All right, these documents are titled Written Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony, Motion to Revoke or Adjudicate. And let me ask, on page 3, is this your signature?
Yes, it is.
And do you swear or affirm that everything that appears above your signature in this document is true and correct?
Yes.
Did you also sign on the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir, I did.
Written waiver of notice to file a motion for new trial?
Yes.
Trial court certification of appeal?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, did you read the documents yourself or did Mr. Cabañas read them to you?
I did read them myself.
Okay. Did you understand these documents before you signed them?
Yes, I do understand.
All right, and did you understand them before you signed them?
Yes,
And are you satisfied with the work your attorney has done for you?
yes,
All right, counsel, do you believe your client understands the nature of the rights she's giving up, the stipulations of evidence she's making, and the consequences of her plea bargain?
I do, Your Honor.
I'll find that you made your waivers of right and your stipulations of evidence knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, and I will approve them. And I'll ask you to the allegation that you violated Rule 27 of your deferred adjudication probation because you failed to successfully complete the transitional treatment center and were discharged for violating the rules. Is that true or not true?
that's true.
I'll accept the plea of true and ask what evidence the state has to substantiate the violation.
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and Attachment A, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor, to States 1 and attachment.
All right, without objection, State's Exhibit 1 and its Attachment A are admitted into evidence. Both sides rest and close at this stage.
State rest and close, Judge.
Defense rest and close, Judge.
All right, I'll find there is enough evidence to substantiate the violation. I'll also find that a change needs to be made in the disposition in this case. Are both sides ready for that hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Defense is ready.
All right, has there been a okay, I'm just looking here, I'm sorry. On the trial court certification of appeal, the box is checked saying that it's not a plea bargain case. Is this open or is there a 3-year cap?
I think we were in agreement to a 3-year cap. Is that right, Mr. Cabañas?
No, Ally, we're,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we pled true and then open to the court with a 3-year cap.
All right, but that is a 3-year cap. You don't
What's
get,
that, Judge?
you don't get the 3-year cap and that is a plea bargain then, that you don't get the 3-year cap and the right to appeal.
Okay.
I mean, if it's open and it's just open and it's a 2 to 10 year sentence and up to $10,000 fine, then that's an open plea and it's not a plea bargain and she has the right to appeal. So do you want a chance to speak to your client about that?
Okay, Judge, I'll talk to her again. That's fine.
All right, you should have both received an invitation to breakout room number 4.
Okay, Your Honor, we're back.
All right, I don't see your client yet. Okay, and I'm asking the SO to unmute Ms. Beasley. All right, so what are we doing, Mr. Cabañas?
Yes, Your Honor. After conferring, my client decided to go ahead and move forward with the cap of 3 TDC.
All right. So is there any objection to me making that change to the, just making, notating that change on the right to appeal notification?
No
Not from the
objection.
defense, Judge.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Now I don't remember where we were. I think I was about to ask if there was a pre-sentence investigation or a waiver of one.
I have a waiver of the pre-sentence investigation, Your Honor.
All right, so I think we don't have it exactly in the record. What is the plea bargain in this case? Well, actually, let me back up and say that. I'm not gonna do a cap without a pre-sentence investigation. Doesn't have to be a long one, but I'm not gonna do a cap without a pre-sentence investigation because I'm not just deciding whether I'm gonna take the plea or not, but I'm deciding what the sentence is going to be. All right. So I'm going to ask that we take a recess, and I'm sorry, Ms. Merton, I could have done this already this morning, but I'll ask you to, do we want to just come back this afternoon, or do we want to come back another time? Or come back in 30 minutes, whatever time it takes?
You're muted.
Yes, ma'am, you're muted.
Sorry, do you just want the regular short form PSI or do you want the one with a recommendation as well?
Well, no, it's a revocation in time, so short form is fine.
Okay. If you want to put me in a breakout room with her, I can do that interview right now.
All right, let's do that.
Thank you, Renee.
No problem.
Okay, you should have each received an invitation to breakout room 6. And if you will let me know when they are back.
You're on mute, Judge.
I took off. If you'll let me know when they're back so we can move forward, I'm going to be working on other matters.
Thank you, Judge, and sorry for that oversight. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer, can you hear me? Hey, Mr. Cabañas, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, thanks,
Yes, ma'am.
Judge.
I can hear you.
I'm gonna restart my computer real quick because everything froze. So I'll be back in just like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm just gonna wait and finish that part when we're completed. Sorry about that.
I apologize, sir. I had to step away. Anyone need anything?
We're good. Ms. Nixon was just letting us know that she was going to restart her computer, but she decided to try and make it through the rest of the meeting.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
so we're gonna go in person, May?
That's what we're planning, yes. I'm gonna try to get that wrapped up after we get finished here, just to get started. We're gonna go in person for the circuit. We'll
Okay.
keep doing Zoom for jury, and then starting in June, we're not going to publicize it at first, but I'm on all the days where we have we're in the same county twice, which is just Atascosa and Wilson typically. I'm going to try and have us do one of those days on Zoom. I think there's a lot of things we'll be able to some things we can still do on Zoom that'll be a benefit to us.
Oh,
But I don't know. We'll have to find out how it goes.
and y'all will keep me posted
Yes,
quickly?
yes,
Very spoiled, not driving,
yes.
waking up late.
Yes, I was just thinking that. I've been getting up about the time I would need to leave to go to Petula, or actually later when we go to Petula.
Same here.
All right, I'm going to step away for a minute. I'll be right back. And if we can go ahead and get the thumbprints on Mr. Reyes and Ms. Beasley, I'll put them on the judgments when the judgments get here.
Judge, probation walked over the thumbprint on Ben Reyes.
Okay. So you're going to match that up? Okay, that's fine.
And Judge, the one thing I'm having problems with that my computer's freezing is one of the dismissals on Ben Reyes's case.
Right.
Probation told me 30 minutes from when we started. So I don't know if you want me to restart or if you're okay with me e-filing it.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
Probation told you what?
Oh, that it was going to be 30 minutes from when they started for the short PSI.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if restarting was worth it because sometimes my computer goes over 25, so I was worried.
Are you at the office where you could step to somebody else's computer?
Yeah, let me go do that. That's it. I'll be right back, Judge.
No, I mean, go ahead and reboot and we'll call you if we need you back.
Well, let me go check real quick. Thanks, Judge. Okay, Judge, so your preferred method is I chat you that dismissal?
Please.
Okay.
I've got the PSI completed. Do you want me to send it with the offense report, or was that included in your stipulations?
No, because this is an MTR. I do not have a copy of the offense report, so I'd appreciate the offense report.
Okay, and then you want me to post it to you in chat?
Please.
Okay, I'll do that. Just give me a second.
All right, I just posted the dismissal and Reyes to the clerk, district clerk's office. Thank you, ma'am.
Did you say something, Judge, to us? Sorry.
Yes, I just posted the dismissal and the other Reyes case to you.
Okay, thank you.
And Angelica, I think that takes care of everything. Let me see if you see something missing with Reyes. Sorry.
I haven't seen the judgment.
I'm sorry, Judge. I sent that to Renee, who I knew was busy. So I guess I can just send that straight to you, can't I? Through chat?
Yes.
Allie, did you get my message?
I did, and I just haven't gotten to it yet to look at my notes. Sorry, Angelica.
It's okay.
Judge, did that first one come through? Because it told me blocked for security reasons, but now it's telling me it went through.
Okay, I have,
Just the first one
of what?
of Ben Walter Reyes, his judgment.
No, I don't have the judgment. I just have the
PSI on.
the dismissal and the PSI.
Let me try one more time, and then I don't know if you want me to try and email it to you.
Sure, try it again.
Okay.
Mr. Cabañas, I don't know if that went, if the PSI went to everyone. Mr. Cabañas needs to be able to look at it also.
Okay, Judge.
Yeah, it's giving me the block message, Judge. I'm going to forward you this email.
All right, thank you. Now, are you doing it in a PDF? Or in a Word?
Word.
Yeah, it only lets you send PDF.
Oh, okay.
Judge, the PSI has been posted. I tried to send it to everyone individually, and when I got to Mr. Cabañas, it wouldn't let me attach the file, so I had to only to everyone.
Actually, after I said that, I believe he's on his phone now, and you can't get.
Ah, that's why.
If you're on the phone.
Okay. So it's been posted.
Okay.
Okay, are both sides ready?
Defense is ready, Judge.
State's ready, Judge.
All right, I've had a chance to review the investigation report and the report from the underlying incident or offense. Okay. All right. Are there any witnesses for either side?
Any witnesses, Mr. Cabañas?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
No one from the state, Your Honor.
Argument?
Judge, we're asking for you to hit the cap of 3 years TDC. As you can see from the MTR and the violation report submitted with the MTR, Ms. Beasley has continued to not comply with the terms of her probation, most importantly, that she get drug treatment. And she has continued to test positive. Was unable to open the PSI. I know Ms. Beasley is pregnant, and I think for her and the safety of her child, continuing with the 3 years TDC is the best course of action in this case, Your Honor.
Mr. Cabañas?
Your Honor, I've spoken to my client, and it is correct. Her pregnancy, we would be asking for something on the lower end of the range. Ms. Beasley does tell me, and she did admit to me when I first met with her, that she takes responsibility for the violation conditions. However, she tells me that when she first started doing drugs, she was unaware she was pregnant. She tells me that she wants to, put this behind her. She's been in custody for quite some time. And so we would just ask the court to sentence her to something on the lower end of the punishment range, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Beasley, what sort of work do you do when you are employed?
Mainly waitressing, and I've done babysitting, so taking care of, people's kids and yes.
All right. And how much credit does Ms. Beasley have?
I believe 522 days.
Right. So how long has she been in custody?
On this most recent, let me see, Judge. I think that's giving her credit, Judge, for the times that she was in the probation. I forget if it was SafeP. I'm sorry, my Word documents are not opening right now. I don't know if Renee has that in front of her right now.
I think it was the TTC, but is there some other?
Your Honor, she did go to safety, and she was at the Hackberry unit from April 3rd, 2019 to February 18th, 2020, which she successfully completed safety. She did have a couple of extensions while she was there, but she did not successfully complete the transitional treatment center. So she also has some time while she was in custody waiting to go to safety as well.
And how long has Ms. Beasley been in custody right before today? It looks like she had absconded for a while.
Yes, Judge, she had she absconded. She also had a NISI. And so that's why she's in custody right now on a failure to appear.
Okay. When was the NISI?
Your Honor, that was on 10/20/20.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yep.
All right, give me a moment.
Judge, she was actually arrested on the NISI warrant on January 16th of this year.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Ms. Cabañas, I take it your client is asking just to go ahead and be adjudicated guilty and receive a sentence?
Your Honor.
I mean, she'll be parole eligible immediately. I mean,
Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Beasley, is that what you're wanting me to do?
I mean, I really do not want to go to prison, but I would like another chance on probation, but I don't really see that happening. I do want to, I have good support. I have good support, and I see myself taking care of my baby and me and Aaron's baby, my fiance. But if that's not something that can happen, then I mean.
Well, and let me back up. If you're going to speak, you need to be sworn in. Do you want to call your client as a witness, Mr. Cabañas, or?
No, Judge, I do not.
All right, then I will follow the plea bargain agreement in this case. I'll find you guilty of the third-degree felony offense of tampering. I'll sentence you to 2 years confinement. Is there any legal reason why sentence should not now be imposed?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Nothing from the state.
All right, ma'am. It is the order, judgment, decree of the court that you be taken by the sheriff of Karnes County and transported to the authorized receiving agent in the Department of Criminal Justice. You'll be confined for a period of 2 years. Your sentence will commence today. It will run concurrently with any other sentence you may be under. And you will receive credit for all the time you have spent so far in jail on this charge, that being the amount of time that was read into the record by the state's attorney earlier. And we're also imposing court costs or unpaid portion of court costs, part of the plea bargain. You're muted, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
And any unpaid portion of your previous court costs, but no fine. All right, I wish you good luck, ma'am. Let me be real candid with you. If I had, under the plea bargain, an opportunity to give you a much longer sentence so that you would be in prison long enough to go through their equivalent of relapse safety, I would have done so, but I can't. So you're either going to get it together without having formal help or you're not. I hope the answer is that you are. If you are, then the sooner you're paroled so that you can make sure you're out, hopefully before your child is born, the better. And if you're not, then we will deal with that in the future. So I will certify to the Court of Appeals that because I have followed the plea bargain, that this is you've waived the right to appeal. Wish you good luck.
And Judge, I have a message in to get, excuse me, the judgment, and I will let you know as soon as I get it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, it was my understanding that the judgment was ready, but for the time, they're having, I guess, the same complication I am. So I don't know if we want to wait or if you want me to email it or how you want to proceed.
It's lunchtime. Or Ms. Beasley is still there. Is Mr. Cabanas? Did he take off already?
Oh, yeah, it looks like he did.
All right, well then I'll just state, Ms. Beasley, since you're still there, if you have a disagreement with the number of days that came up, that the state comes up with, and what was the previous number you had, Ms. Nixon?
I believe it's 522.
Okay, and right now it's at 522. Get in touch with Mr. Cabanas, and if he's still your attorney on that issue, and if you're not able to work that out, then he can file a motion for new trial just on punishment or on the number of days credit within 30 days. I've said that many times. I've never had the state and the defense not actually get it worked out, but if they're not able to work it out, I'll do that. Okay, and on Mr. Reyes, I don't think I imposed a fine.
I think you might be correct, Judge.
Okay, let me make this change.
Okay. Judge, for Miss Beasley, there was no fine, correct? And her prorated court costs?
Yes, the unpaid portion of the court costs.
Okay, so 310.
All right. I received something else. Did I get 2 copies of the judgment from you, Ms. Dixon?
You did, Judge.
Okay, okay. All right, so are we finished? Ms. Poppy, do you want to go over the docket? Everyone else, we're finished?
Yes, let's please do.
Okay. All right, everyone else, we're finished. You're dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.